But yeah, there are some things they're trying to squash within the pharmacy industry right now, because the pharmacy industry and the healthcare industry don't give a damn. They're one and the same to me. So the pharmacy industry, two different things they're trying to squash down. One thing they're trying to squash, obviously, is the use of cannabis, weed, marijuana, dodo. You know, they don't want people to know that there are definitely medicinal uses for cannabis. Scientists have said it. Advocates have said it, you know. People who were not really big advocates of cannabis have come out and said it. That cannabis actually helps. It helps people. Unfortunately, there's a stigma behind cannabis, and people always, you know, they stigmatize it by labeling it as drugs. And I'm sorry, cannabis, weed, dodo, herb, kush, whatever you want to call it, that is not a drug. That is not a drug. A drug is when you have some clowns in white coats in a lab mixing up all these chemicals and stuff. You have no idea what the hell is in a chemical. Then shape it and form it into a pill, put those pills into a bottle, put those bottles onto the shelves at your Target and your Walmarts, and you're ingesting this stuff and don't know what the hell is in it. You know what's in weed and cannabis. You already know. It's nothing but green. It's green. But they'll have you believe that's dangerous. They'll have you believe it causes a higher risk for Alzheimer's disease, all type of weird stuff. And it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Big pharmacy, they're very powerful. They have powerful lobbyists. Lobbyists, if you don't know, are people who speak on behalf of big pharmacies or any corporations. Lobbyists are people who they fight on behalf of the folks that are paying them. So big pharmacy will pay lobbyists to fight for them when it comes to legislative laws and rules and those sorts of things, because that's where the power is. The power is in politics, I'm telling you. And so big pharma makes sure they get in bed with a lot of politicians, a lot of kickbacks. I remember several years ago, I can't remember the name, but there was a politician out of Texas that got slammed for kickbacks they were getting from big pharma to push through laws that would benefit big pharma and not benefit the everyday average American. So cannabis is one thing they're trying to, it's already stigmatized, but they're trying to really make it seem horrible. But I'll tell you right now, it's not working. It's not working because the number of Americans using cannabis has risen. The number of states that have legalized cannabis has risen. The number of states that have legalized medical cannabis has risen. Even in Texas accidentally legalized cannabis and didn't even realize it. With the, I think the 2018 Farm Bill where it legalized hemp. Well, there were some idiots that didn't realize that hemp is marijuana. It's just a different strain of it. There is THC in hemp. There's stuff in there that will get you high. The thing with hemp, though, it takes a whole bunch of hemp to get the intoxicating components out of it. So you need a whole lot of hemp to do that. But they found a way to do it and market it and make money off of it here in Texas. And that's where you get the Delta 8, the Delta 9, you know, things like THCP, THCA, all this type of stuff, CBG, CBD, all this stuff is coming from hemp. And they just didn't realize they were legalizing it, but they did. And now they can't turn back because you got a lot of people that are being fed. They're putting food on the table because they're running these businesses that Texas legalized. Now they legalized it. So cannabis is something that's been a long argument. I think it's a dead argument. I think it's a no-brainer at this point. I think the government right now, what they're doing, they're behind closed doors trying to figure out how to maximize profits. I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to figure out how to tax folks with it, how to tax the states with it, how to incorporate it into the banking system. Because you got to remember the banking systems are, they're backed by the federal government. So the federal government can't come in and save banking systems. But because marijuana is a Schedule 1 drug, I think it's same class as cocaine. It's stupid. Because of that, then banks are not allowed to do business with cannabis growers and cannabis dispensaries and things like that. But I think that I think states have come and found a lot of loopholes to get around some of that. So I think that has eased some of the burden, the financial burden of those folks out there in business to have dispensaries and sell cannabis. But yeah, medicine. They've been using it for years. The American Indians have used it for years. It's just been used for many years, and I think at some point there are other folks that did not want you to have access to cannabis, because if you had access to cannabis, you wouldn't drink so much. If you had access to cannabis, you probably won't be on so many other illicit drugs. That's what they don't want you to know. There are alternatives to the stuff they're selling in these stores. They're all on people's asses about cannabis. But what about cigarettes? I don't remember cannabis causing cancer. I don't remember that. I don't remember cannabis causing COPD. Although it can have an impact because you breathe and you're ingesting smoke into your chest. Yes, I get it. But my overarching thing, what I'm trying to say is, hell, they sell cigarettes in the store. They sell heavy ass alcohol in the stores. This stuff puts people in hospitals. This stuff is making the healthcare industry money. So that's why they don't want to stop it. That's why the lobbyists fight so hard